Let's head back to 1990. The date, June 26th. The place, Hobart. Mary Kolchak, a mother of one who is engaged to be married, is gunned down in her own garage after returning home from work. Here's the story.
On June 26, 1990, West 3rd Avenue at approximately 11:30 p.m. in Hobart, Indiana. Mary Kolchak arrived home from work. She pulled into the garage. The garage was directly underneath the living room. Her son was upstairs in the living room. When he heard the garage door begin to shut, he heard two shots. The first shot rang, and then he heard a scream, and then he heard a second shot ring out. He came down from the living room down to the front door, and he opened up the front door, and he looked out in the front yard or the front of the home to see if he had seen anybody running or any cars leaving the area, which he didn't see anything. Then he came back inside the house. He heard his mom groaning downstairs at the bottom of the stairs, where he went downstairs and found his mom behind the door, and she was gasping for air. Mary was shot on the upper portion of her right arm, where the entrance wound went in just above her elbow on her right arm, exited just below her armpit, and then re-entered through her chest cavity and punctured her lung, her upper part of her liver, and traveled through her aorta and came to rest on the left side of her body. It's unknown that the suspect fled by foot or in a vehicle. The son, he immediately, as soon as he heard the shots and the scream, he went out and checked the front of the house to see if he had seen anybody running from the area or driving away from the area, in which he didn't see anybody driving or running from the area. Her son called the emergency personnel. The paramedics arrived and transported her to St. Mary Medical Center, where she succumbed to her wounds. At 11:35 on the same date, on June 26th, about approximately 1.4 miles away from Mary's home, there was a bump and rob. There had been a series of bump and robs in probably about a 5-mile vicinity of her residence over about a month time frame. The victims of that bump and rob, they were ran off the road, and as they tried to regain control of the vehicle, the bump and rob suspect exited his vehicle and fired approximately 4 rounds into the victim's vehicle as they tried to regain control of their car. The bump and rob suspect robbed the 2 victims and fled the scene. Detectives before me, they had a strong feeling that the suspect that was involved with the bump and rob was involved with the shooting death of Mary Kolchak. But later on, the ballistics proved different, that the gun that the bump and rob suspect had did not match the bullet that was recovered from Mary's chest cavity. At this point, we have no leads or any suspects regarding this, and we want the public's assistance to try and help find who was responsible for Ms. Kolchak's death. The area the residence is located in is it's a dead-end neighborhood. The house was on the corner of a cul-de-sac. It was a very quiet neighborhood. And there was only one way in and one way out of the neighborhood. So the people that would be traveling in and out of that neighborhood at that time of the evening would probably be residents. Mary was involved with her church. She had recently joined Jenny Craig. By all accounts, all the reports that I reviewed, her life was going very well. Her and her fiance were engaged to be married in September of 1990. If anybody has any additional information regarding this homicide, please contact Detective James Gonzalez with the Hobart Police Department at area code 219-942-4405. Or you could contact Crimestoppers and remain anonymous.
In their 22-year search for Mary's killer, police have had little to go on. Do you hold the key to solving this case? If you have any information, call Crimestoppers today. You can remain anonymous and be eligible for a cash reward. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Crimestoppers Case Files. Keep up with the show by liking us on Facebook, and be sure to check out our website at crimestopperstelevision.com. Remember, we are here every week with more crimes and more families needing answers. These are your neighbors, this is your community, and you can make a difference.